He played 7 seasons in the NFL, mostly with the Raiders, and these days he's coaching Raiders, strikers, and special teams for the Navy midshipmen. Remember the name, it's Ricky Brown. And Ricky, you decided to team up with your elder high school teammate, PJ Volker, now the defensive coordinator at Navy. What was his sales pitch to you?
It wasn't anything that was all of a sudden like, hey, we have this deal going for you. Coach Volker has been a friend for 20 plus years, and ever since he's been at Kennesaw State, he's been raving about Coach Newberry. So we've always stayed in touch. We always reconvene in July on the west side of Cincinnati, usually around 4th of July. We always run into each other, but every time he just was raving about this defensive coordinator. Then they made the move to Navy. Growing up on the west side, you really do value blue collar work, and you value the people that enjoy doing that type of thing. So it's a no-brainer for me.
You talk about blue-collar work ethic, and your story is a lesson in leadership. You played 7 seasons in the NFL as an undrafted linebacker. What leadership lessons can you teach this team?
Honestly, it's not about the hand that you're dealt, but it's how you play the cards. Everyone wants to be a first-round draft pick. I was not. I was an undrafted free agent, but I love playing football, and I wanted to keep playing football. And there was only one way to do it, and that was to build your brand on special teams, and with the help of really good coaches like a Don Martindale, who taught me how to play defense at a high level. You continue to work, continue to improve, and then you come up for air and you're like, all right, we're finally getting somewhere.
We've talked about turning the lights on, making yourself noticed as a player. How are you measuring progress in your strikers and Raiders during spring football?
I think the first thing is just their overall body language. I want to see guys that show up to meetings ready to go. Playing football, it doesn't last forever. You know, Tom Brady just retired, he's 45, and he's going to live longer as a non-player than he does as a player. So it's such a finite window that you have this opportunity to be great. Such a finite window that you have to embrace the brotherhood. The one thing I'm very, very happy about is you see a room where guys are pulling for each other. There's not a starter anointed. And I think the best thing is you can compete with these great friends that you're going to have for the rest of your life. All right, but you can still help make them better. And at the end of the day, if you teach someone something, you're going to learn it even better.
As special teams coordinator, besides head coach Brian Newberry, you're the only one who gets to address the whole team and players on both sides of the ball. Why is that collaboration and reach important to you?
It's a privilege. As a special teams coordinator, you get to touch every single kid, and that is such a bright side of coaching special teams. What's fantastic is that third phase comes together, the entire team's in there, minus an offensive lineman or a quarterback, but you're talking 90 to 95% of the team. So you get to build relationships. And the number one reason why I ever got into coaching was to pay it forward. Behind pretty much every good player, there's a handful of really good coaches and people that helped mold you both on and off the field.
Coach Newberry has talked about being a nightmare to prepare for in all 3 phases. How do you manifest chaos on special teams?
I think the number one thing is scheme is great, but it's about how we do it. And for us, our effort, our attitude, and our toughness have to show up in all 3 phases. We are going at each other, to say the least, which has been fantastic. Right now, it's about guys building their toolbox, and their toolbox is going to be about technique, fundamentals, and really just the overall strain and the effort at which they play.
Seems like the start of something special. He's Ricky Brown, I'm Luke Slaybaugh, and this is Navy Football.